Hello there, and welcome to another episode of PreWorkout Chat. Today is Sunday, May 19th, 2024. You know what time it is. It's time to start ranting. Chatting about what's going on. One thing I will say, this was a wonderful idea coming up with these pre-workout chats because it allows me to get certain things off my chest. It's very therapeutic. And not only that, but when I do manage to get somebody to view this and leave some feedback, awesome things happen. There was a guy, I believe his name was Mark the Shark, and he gave a suggestion about how to improve these pre-workout chats. Hey, kitty cat, calm down now. He gave an idea about how to improve these pre-workout chats, and sorry, my cat is. Hey, kitty cat, calm down, calm down, calm down. So he gave a suggestion about the pre-workout chats where. Instead of sitting in a room all the time, I can be walking around. I am thinking about implementing that, but there's still some. Okay, kitty cat, you need to move back now. I am thinking about implementing that as part of my little pre-workout ritual, which is what this is. Me recording and talking to these videos and stuff, and loading up on some pre-workout. It's like a pre-workout ritual. It helps me to really kind of think about things. It helps me to get my mind in a nice active state, especially after waking up. And anything that I'm kind of stressing about, it brings it to the forefront of my mind. And when I start working out, it helps burn that stuff away. You know what I'm saying? So, oh yeah, by the way, a storm is rolling in. So if you guys hear raining or thunder in the background, it's Florida. So what can you do? So, I'm thinking about doing the walking videos. I am looking at some things on Amazon. There was one kind of harness that I was looking at where I could put the phone on my chest and I could just basically walk around, and I could kind of angle the phone. Kitty cat, no. You need to come on. Okay. Sometimes she gets a little attitude. So I could put it on my chest. The only problem is that when you buying stuff like that, when you're trying to order equipment and stuff like that, you kind of have to be kind of weary of whether it can fit you or not. I have made the mistake when it came to ordering clothing off of Amazon or any type of stuff off of Amazon, where if you're just not careful, it'll be smaller. Like for example, actually I have some workout. Kitty cat, come on, you no, you're gonna make me shut the door. You're gonna make me shut the door if you can't sit down now. So I have some workout clothes that I thought was in my size, but turns out that they weren't in my size. And so you have to be careful when you're ordering stuff off of Amazon. And one thing I kind of look to is I like to try to go into the comments, and I like to try to see what people are saying about it. And one of the ones I was looking at, a guy had kind of pointed out that if you have a chest that was greater than 40 inches, this thing will be basically too snug on you. So, I'm trying to find something that fits. So, give me a little time. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to be walking while I'm waiting for that, but in terms of recording, you might not see that for a while. So, cut me some slack on that. Now the other thing is that I wake up pretty early to start working out. So when I am, trying to record myself and trying to, do that in the morning, the footage might not be too good because it's going to be pretty dark outside. So that's one thing that I'm kind of considering. What I could do is when I come home from work, I could just, go on a walk and, strap the, phone and camera to my chest, and I could do that. And so that would be nice to do in the afternoons, like, when I get off of work. So that's an alternative that I can do. So anyway, I'm still working it out in my mind, working on the logistics of it to see how that can play out. But that's something that might be coming in the future. And one of the reasons why I'm definitely giving it some considerate thought is it's a good alternative for cardio. As you all know, I don't really like doing the cardio. So walking and doing some nice, slow, steady state cardio is going to be good for the muscles. Because cardio, believe it or not, like if you do an excessive amount of cardio, from what I've seen in YouTube videos, I guess apparently like if you do too much cardio, it can kind of hinder the muscle development because it kind of prevents you from like fully healing up and stuff like that because it's like draining your muscles. So that's something to consider. But I think in a video, Coach Greg had kind of suggested that if you are trying to build muscles, but you're trying to like kind of like keep down the weight, I think he suggested doing like a slow, steady state cardio, like walking, and that will help everything. So it'll be very beneficial to do the walking, and plus also somebody had once said in a video, like, how many steps are you getting in? And that kind of made me conscious that I'm not really moving around as much as I should be. And, that's like bonus calorie burning right there if you could walk around more. So I am interested in getting my steps up. So if I could do that walking, I think that would be like a good thing to do. I do work like pretty much like 9 to 5. So one thing I am considering about doing is just like recording myself, walking around during my lunch breaks. So, I could do that for about like 30 or 40 minutes, and it should work out pretty good. Anyway, so that's enough about that. If you've probably paid attention to some of my videos, which, I don't really expect a lot of people to watch these things, you might have noticed that that I am doing some changes. I know if you've kept up with a lot of things, you're probably saying, oh, you've been making changes a lot. And as I stated in prior videos, I will my plans and my program that I developed for myself is not static. Everything that I do is dynamic, and it's dynamic because I have it that way so that no matter what happens, everything will adapt to accommodate me. And so this is my weight loss journey. And so I will make as many changes as I please. The only thing that I need to focus on is, sticking to the diet and, doing the exercise. That's pretty much all I need to really focus on. And the diet is like number one. And when it comes down to that, it's as long as I don't exceed a certain amount of calories per week. That's all that I really care about. So I am losing the weight and stuff like that. But yeah, so it has came to my attention that the economy is not going in the best direction, and because of this, the cost of living is going up. Like my rent went up. My cost of my insurance went up, and thus the cost of food have also went up. Cost of fuel, everything is going up, right? So I now have to be a little bit more conscious about my budget. Now, it was easier like back in the day, back in the glorious fat days where, I didn't really give a crap about my health. It was so easy to just not really pay attention to budgeting and stuff like that. I did have a budget, but all of the money that I could have been saving, I was pretty much just blowing it on fast food and stuff like that, DoorDash and all type of junk. I did buy groceries, but I often ended up like throwing out like pretty much anything that was healthy. Um, so I didn't really have to focus too hard on the part of my budget that went towards groceries because most of everything went to fast food. As a matter of fact, I've actually ran up some credit cards with fast food, believe it or not. So I know poor spending habits. I don't blame others for my debt, I blame myself. Just like I don't blame others for my fat, I blame myself. You control your spending and you control every morsel of food that enters your mouth. Accountability. So with that being said, I've actually I've been paying more attention to my budget. Now that I'm trying to like pay off my credit cards and buying food. Now before I was like trying to eat every other day. It didn't really work out too well, but for the most part, I was pretty much eating almost every other day, and so that saved me on some groceries, and that also resulted in some weight loss. Then I because I was kind of falling off the path, I needed something to cling to, and what I kind of cling to was the pump. So I enjoy lifting weights and stuff like that because I like that feeling that my muscles get. It's like a sensation that you get in your muscles when you're working out and you're really pushing yourself. So I've been chasing that pump, and that's what that's what keeps me going down this path. So that's what I'm clinging to. That awesome sensation. Also, it's such a great ego boost when you look at your when you're doing a bench press and you say, "Whoa, my working weight is going up. Like this weight is too light. I'm not getting nothing. I'm throwing this weight around, and I need to add more weight to this bar so that I can feel like I'm doing something." That is it's awesome feeling. It's awesome feeling. I really encourage anybody to try it. Like if you're like trying to really get into this, and let's say you're not doing really good on the diet, well, screw the diet. Start lifting those weights. Start lifting those weights and get enjoy that sensation, and then eventually you'll start correcting yourself. You'll start correcting yourself. Like you want to feed your body, more nutrient dense foods and stuff like that, because you want to be able to recover better and stuff like that. So you're gonna naturally go on a diet and stuff like that when you start when you start adding on that muscle and stuff like that. It's a good way. So if you try different things, and that's what you see me do. I try different things, and I will keep trying different things until I succeed. I will keep making changes to fit the situation and to fit my needs until I succeed. And matter of fact, even going beyond me succeeding and stuff like that, I'll still always change to win. And you should have that same type of mentality. So if you usually when you're trying to like lose weight, you should really kind of focus on the diet, and that should be like the number one thing. But guess what? If you keep failing and you keep failing and you keep failing, then maybe focusing on the diet is just not your thing. Maybe you need to focus on something else that you enjoy. Like find something that you enjoy in the process and kind of hyper focus on that. For me, it was like lifting weights and stuff like that, and also getting that ego boost because my ego is so low. It's like straight up in the dirt. When you live a life where you're pretty big and stuff like that, and people really don't accept you. See, I come from the days when there was no type of body positivity, and even though today you have stuff like body positivity, that really only applies to females. It really don't apply to males. And any female that wishes to challenge that, you go right ahead. I would dare you. So, with that being said, the body positivity is really not for males. So even today, there's a lot of guys who are big and stuff who are kind of like being ran through the dirt with that, and so you're gonna get hits to your ego and stuff like that, and eventually it just comes to the point where your ego is just absolutely trash. Like you don't really have none and stuff like that, and you can always tell this when you have absolutely no standards when it comes to people that you date and stuff like that. Like you're just pretty much willing to deal with anything, and like that. Like that's like a good indicator. So not having standards like a good indicator that your ego is probably absolutely destroyed. And you gotta build that up and stuff like that. So one of the things that helped me is like seeing myself get stronger. Like that gives me that confidence booster, and it boosts up my ego a little bit more. And seeing my ego actually heal and recover and get better than what it was, it makes me feel good. So that's the psychology behind that. So that's why I said if you are having troubles like trying to get into a program and stay on it, focus on the part that you like, and let everything else fall into place. Just actively think about it, and eventually you will start making those corrections. So that's why I focus more on the weights. And if something happens where I like eat a donut or something, or if I'm like 200 calories more than I wanted that day, it's not a big deal to me. I really don't care. As long as I see the weight on that bar go up, I really don't care about anything else. Now, back to the economics of this. So, due to the economy, I now have to make some changes to, my diet and stuff like that. And so I am reincorporating carbs back into my diet. I'm keeping it clean though. The only grain that you're going to see in my diet is going to come from rice. And basically I'm using rice to stretch out my supply of meat. Right now I have about a 30-day supply of meat. And I am going to use the rice to basically double that supply of meat. So I'm basically cutting my normal consumption of meat in half, and I am going to basically, water it down with rice. So instead of eating 1 pound of ground beef, which is the main staple of my diet, I am going to only eat half a pound of ground beef and eat like 1 serving of rice. So that's about 1/4 of a cup dry is a serving of rice. And by the way, I like the jasmine rice. That's the one I typically go for. So that's going to be in my diet. I had already added spinach to my diet, which pretty much converted that carnivore diet into like a paleo diet. But it was still, when you look at the macros, I was still consuming like less than 50 grams of carbs. I think I was around 30 grams of carbs when you actually tallied everything up. So I already have spinach in there. It's not really much that's going to change about that. The salad's just going to remain the same. Now, what I am doing is I am bringing back the fruits. So for my protein drink, instead of just having 2 scoops of protein powder and some water, I am now going to include fruit in there. And I keep the fruit frozen, so I have like bananas. I just cut them in half and freeze them. And so yeah, my protein shake is generally going to have like half a frozen banana and like half to 1 cup of frozen berries. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do with that. I'm also, instead of I am going to use water with my protein drink, but now I'm adding in like half a cup of soy milk. 1 cup of soy milk for my protein drink. So yeah, I mean, things are pretty much, it's not really much change. It's just the calories only went up like a little bit. Like before I was around like 2,040 or 50 calories. Now I'm at like, when I run the MyFitnessPal, it says 2,145, but I like to estimate up. So now I'm at like 2,200. But just to give you guys some visuals, we can just go ahead and look at this. So we'll just straight up just kind of zoom into the diet, right? So as you can see, pretty much my diet is going to break down to like half a pound of, so what my dinner looks like is half a pound of ground beef, 1/4 of a cup of rice, and that's pretty much the dinner. What my breakfast look like is just going to be 4 eggs. After I work out, I will have a protein drink, and my protein drink is going to have 2 scoops of protein powder, and it's going to have just 1 cup of the soy milk. Now, for my protein drink, I'll either take it one or two ways. If I'm busy, I might combine the AM and the PM workouts, and then I'll just like do them all at the same time, and then I'll drink the protein drink. But if my schedule is okay, and I don't have anything to deal with at work, because sometimes I have to work late, especially around closing. As long as that's not the issue, I could do my AM workout and my PM workout, and what I'll do is I'll just cut the protein drink in half. So I'll take half of it after the first workout, and then I'll take the other half after the second workout. It's the same thing I do with my pre-workout drink. I only drink this entire thing when I'm doing all of the workout at the same time. But if I am doing the workout, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, then I pretty much just cut this in half as well. And so that's going to be the workout drink. Now, when I go to work, I like to sip on coffee. And this really just gets me through like the first few hours and stuff like that. It's what kind of like, because sometimes I have like a dip in the energy after working out, because my muscles feel tired and stuff like that, especially if I really push them that day. So for my coffee, I usually brew up about three cups of coffee, and I like to add in half a cup of soy milk is what I'm going to be doing. And 1 tablespoon of honey and 2 teaspoons of coffee creamer. I have different coffee creamers. Like I have the powdered coffee creamer, which apparently is not that good because I guess you could somehow turn those into explosive. I don't know that. But yeah, I like to have 2 teaspoons. Excuse me, 2 teaspoons of that coffee creamer, and that helps flavor the coffee. Like I got different flavors, like a caramel macchiato. I just add that to it, and that's it. I also got like a liquid creamers that I get, which has like an oatmeal cookie one, and so I put a couple tablespoons of that in there as an alternative to using the powdered coffee creamer. So yeah, my coffees is just again half a cup of soy milk, 3 cups of coffee, and about 2 teaspoons of coffee creamer, and that's what I sip on. And then eventually, I like to have my lunch like around 1 o'clock. And for my lunch, I have 4 ounces of chicken. I have half an ounce of cheese, and I have about 3 cups of spinach, and I have about 2 tablespoons of salad dressing, and that's going to be pretty much the lunch. So, and that's all that I'm consuming within a day, and it's pretty satiating. Everything is pretty satiating. I didn't give this whole diet a try yet, but I have been slowly incorporating carbs back into my diet since like about Thursday. Because after I did that first grocery haul, I was like, oh no. So I've been slowly incorporating the carbs back into my diet because, sometimes when you do like a diet change, you might get certain stomach issues and stuff like that, which you might not be pleasant to be around. So I have to, do things ahead of time before, because you don't want to encounter this stuff before you go to work. So when we break down the macros, and I use MyFitnessPal to track these things, the carbs break down to 96 grams of carbs, 121 grams of fat, and 170 grams of protein. So yes, my protein did cut down a little bit. Prior, it was a little over 190 grams. So now I'm down to just 170. And by the way, it was so hard changing everything around to keep my protein intake around 170 grams. So even with this change, this only like saves me, like now that I'm incorporating the carbs, this essentially, like before I had everything estimated around $400 per month. with the carnivore diet for 30 days, plus all my other expenses related to my pets and stuff, plus supplies like for hygiene and washing clothes and stuff like that, and toiletries. So now my estimate is somewhere around 320. And so if I do order the turkesterone, that'll put me at like about 350, 360. Again, I won't really be able to run my numbers properly until my supply runs dry. And that might not be for like another 2 months. Like I estimate that next month I'll still have plenty of meat left over and plenty of rice left over. So I almost right now as it is, and yes, I did go over my budget a little bit. I did kind of overspend this month, but right now I pretty much almost have about 2 months of supplies. So I have to let everything run dry, and then I'll be able to do a better calculations and revise my budget better. But as it stands, I should be able to buy the turkesterone either my next payday, which is at the end of this month. I get paid bi-monthly, or it's going to be around the 15th of next month, and that's when I'll buy the turkesterone. There are different payment options when it comes to that, so I might try to see if I qualify for one of those alternative payment methods, and then I'll I'll go into that turkesterone stuff. So yeah, I still plan on doing the turkesterone. Now, while I wasn't too pleased to basically be reincorporating carbs this early. I didn't think that I would reincorporate carbs back into my diet until I was like less than 250 pounds. I did want to keep the carnivore thing, the carnivore paleo thing, whatever you want to call it, keto, I don't care. I did want to keep that thing going for another few months, but hey, what can you do? I can't control the economy, and I only have a limited supply of money that comes in, and I'm still trying to pay off debt. While I'm not responsible for the economy, I am responsible for my own debt. So that has to be paid off, and it is what it is. But it doesn't mean that I have to stop or give up, my other goals and stuff like that. So I just have to be patient, and I just got to accept things for what it is. So carbs are back on the menu, and I just have to deal with that. So I am going to lose whatever health benefits that came from that all carnivore diet. And there's really nothing I could do about that. I am contemplating whether I want to do the fasting, but I feel like that's just going to be too much change, and it's too much stress already. So I'm not really looking at fasting. I might look at reincorporating fasting somewhere down the line. Maybe when I enter phase 2, which would be like around August, maybe I'll think about adding fasting. But for now, it is what it is. I'm just going to try to run with this. Now, what I will say is one of the benefits of reincorporating the carbs back into the diet is going to make lifting weights a whole lot better. Those carbs fuel the muscle a whole lot better than the ketones, and your body's just going to hit those carbs so much faster than it does the ketones, because it has to go through a process when it's trying to tap into those ketones. It's like you got to break down the fat, then you have the ketones, and your body has to like convert I don't want to get into all that. So yeah, the carbs are going to make working out a whole lot better. So that pump is going to get some benefits from those carbs. Now to have everything kind of like where it is, and to maintain this protein level of 170, again, I did not, one of the things I dislike about my new diet is the reduction of the protein. I think the 190 grams of protein was perfect. It worked really well for my body and what I'm doing, and that's one thing I didn't like. So to even keep this level, I ended up having to increase my calories. So before it was around like 2,050 calories. Now it's at about like 2,200. To be exact, if you want the exact MyFitnessPal data, it's going to be 2,145 calories. But, and this is something you always have to consider, those calories that are on the packages are just an estimate. They're pretty, I mean, they're close, but you never know. Like sometimes something might be 50 more calories than what you think it is, or 20 more calories, or maybe even 100 more calories than what you think. So you got to be conscious of that. So that's why I always like to round up when it comes to counting the calories that come from my food. And when it comes to burning calories that is tracked on this watch, I always like to estimate down. So I always have high expectations when it comes to calories from food and low expectations when it comes to calories burned working out. And that way you're never disappointed by the results. So yeah, that's typically what I do. So that is the new diet. I am making some minor tweaks when it comes to, this weight loss tracker, which by the way, I also wanted to point out, and again, this is why I don't like looking at the scale. Last week, I basically was focusing on maintaining like a higher level of hydration because I noticed that I wasn't drinking as much water as I used to. And when I also started eating the carbs, I felt like my body started like kind of holding on to the liquid and stuff in my body. And I've also been like a little bit constipated over these last few days. So when I got on the scale this morning, and by the way, I had kind of drank some stuff before I even got on the scale. So this number is a little bit deceptive, but I got on the scale and I was at like about 361 pounds, 61.2 pounds. So that is where the scale was at this morning. So, just wanted to put that to you guys because, once my body gets used to the new diet and as I'm working out and stuff, you may see this number, dip down to like something very low next week. And then you might see it kind of bounce a little bit back up the week after that. So that's normal. It's like don't be deceived by it. It is what it is. I'm actually used to seeing my numbers bounce around. I remember when I first started working out, I was the scale said I was like 358 pounds, and the first week the scale said I was like 348 pounds, well 47 pounds. So you don't really want to trust the scale like that. It can deceive you. That's why in prior videos I told you about some other factors that you can use to kind of track your progress. Now, I did add a new feature to my weight tracker, and that is basically an estimation from MyFitnessPal. And what I did to create this new projection when it comes to my weight is essentially all I did, and by the way, I didn't factor in any type of exercise. The MyFitnessPal app had only got like 115 calorie update from just me walking around, so it only has that adjustment that it had received from my watch. And what I did was I put in my diet, my new diet of 2,200 calories, and I put in my weight, and I basically just went into the MyFitnessPal app, and I set it to, if you complete your diary for the day, it gives an estimation of what you will weigh in 5 weeks if every day was the same based off of the information that was entered that day. And if I was just only eating the diet alone, it basically, said, oh, in 5 weeks you'll weigh 348 pounds. And that was based off of the weight that I entered today and the diet that I ate today, and only like having a calorie adjustment for activities of about 115 calories. And so I kept doing that. So what I did was I went into the MyFitnessPal app, and basically I would every 5 weeks on my Excel sheet, I would enter in the new weight, and I would put that estimation from MyFitnessPal as my current weight. And I just kept on going, kept on going, kept on going, and just kept on going until I had basically numbers for every 5 weeks of what my weight would be. And I just took basically the weight loss between that 5 week period, and I divided it by 5 weeks, and I just took the prior weight and just kept on subtracting it until I got that 5th week number. And I just kept repeating the process over and over again until we got into what I would look like week number 62. So before my calendar had me like somewhere in June, I stretched it down till like July. So if we go off of MyFitnessPal, where I don't do nothing except just stick to the 2,200 calorie diet, and I stick to that every single day, theoretically, by MyFitnessPal, over the course of 62 weeks, I would get down to about 247 pounds. Now, this column right here is not affected by the data from the rest of this Excel sheet. This is just a projection based off of MyFitnessPal data. I did make some updates on this sheet. So you see the diet is now on there. The exercises, I think I've only like made some slight changes to those. But yeah, essentially, I mean, it's still the same thing. You know, I'm exercising. I'm still doing the exercises where, you know, I do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And I'm still, you know, doing a upper body, lower body kind of split. So one day I do upper, one day I do lower. The only difference is I didn't want to kind of overestimate on my exercise. So even though I basically lift weights 4 days out of the week, and so that's how I have it on my tracker. Just me lifting weights 4 days out of the week. And I do cardio 3 days out of the week, so altogether there's 7 days, so 7 days of activities. But I do lift weights like 2 times, but there's some days where I basically just combine it into one session. So I didn't want to overestimate on the amount of calories that I was burning, since things kind of variate between what's going on with my job. That's why I have it set to only calculating 4 sessions instead of 8 sessions. Because again, 2 sessions per day, 4 days per week. So those are actually 8 different workout sessions. So the estimation for how many calories I'm burning lifting weight is pretty. The estimation is pretty low. It's like super low. And if you've seen some of my old workouts, you know that I can burn actually over 600 calories when I am lifting weights, depending on what I'm doing and how hard I'm pushing myself. So I can definitely burn over 600 calories. So that's why this is like half. This is really half of what I could actually put out. With the cardio, I don't like doing so much cardio. So the days that I do the cardio, where I'm doing a cardio in the morning and the afternoon, sometimes I might just combine that into just one 800 calorie sessions. But usually each session of cardio, I try to aim for like about 500 calories. So again, this is also underestimated. It's like I said, for the work that you plan on doing, underestimated, and for the calories that you plan on consuming, overestimated. And when you do that, you will not have disappointing results. So when you see, especially during this first phase, which ends like around the beginning of August, I'm only really losing about like 2.5 pounds every week. And again, that's a good number. That's a good number to lose weight at. And, you know, again, I always go by the philosophy: slow and steady wins the race. You do not need to do like the people on Biggest Losers. You don't need to do like the people like a David Goggins and stuff like that. You don't need to be losing 10 pounds a week, 5 pounds a week, and stuff like that. They're nice numbers. It's very inspiring. Don't get me wrong, but you really don't need to. You don't need to do that. You did not become overweight in 1 year. You didn't become overweight in like half a year. It took you a lifetime of poor decision and really kind of hating yourself for you to let your body become so overweight. So with that being the case, you kind of got to give yourself some forgiveness, show yourself some love, and just take it one step at a time. Listen, you're going to be living for years and years to come. I'm 34 years old. I got so much time ahead of me. You know what I'm saying? I won't. I still got a good solid like 30 years before I'm like an old man. You know what I'm saying? I'm already pretty old, but I'm not an old man. You know what I'm saying? So I got a long time before that. And I look at my dad, I look at some of my male relatives, and you know what? They did pretty good. They did pretty good going into like their 70s and stuff like that. So with that being said, I have a long time ahead of me. So I have the time needed to lose the weight. And again, I really don't care about, losing the weight that much. I care more about building the muscle. So I guess I'll look at myself and say, you're lucky you get that. But yeah, that's just phase one. And this is really what I'm hyper focused on. I do got like other phases in here. I got like 3 different phases and stuff like that. So I guess if you go by everything that's on here, according to my calculations, I'll be like 206 pounds by July 20th, 2025. But according to like my fitness pal, I'll probably only be like around in 246 pounds or something by this time. So, hey, it is what it is. I don't care either way. And do know that my fitness pal calculation has, it does not account for any exercises that I do. This is just supposed to be only focused on the diet. So if I only focused on the diet, according to my fitness pal, by this time next year, and we can actually, what's that? It's minus 1.34. So we could say this one equal minus 1.24. Well, there you go. Based off of the MyFitnessPal calculation, by July 20th, 2025, I would weigh around 246.4 pounds. And if you go by my calculations, if you factor in me just working out, I'll weigh 206.9 pounds. And now if you're you're probably looking at this. I know some people are like kind of curious about the numbers, but like I said, up here in phase one, right? I'm not counting the second workout. I'm only counting like basically one workout per day. But in the second phase, I most definitely am counting both workouts, so the AM and the PM workout. And that's only because by the time I get to phase two, I will, of course, be adding probably about 2 extra exercises per workout. So at that point in time, I wouldn't really be able to combine the AM and the PM workout because it's just going to be so much work that I'm not going to be able to do it in one setting, especially if I'm trying to like do some effective workouts where I actually end up getting sore. So I'm not going to be able to do that. So that's why in phase two, most definitely I'm counting each of my weightlifting. So I'm still working out 4 days out of the week, and I am still doing an AM and a PM workout in phase two. The only thing that really changes in phase two, besides, my estimated calorie burn per workout reducing, is the amount of cardio that I'm doing, right? So again, in this first phase right here, I'm counting only one cardio session per day. In this session right here, I will definitely be shooting for 700 calorie burn per cardio session. So I'm not going to be able to do that in one setting. So that's why in this session, still I'm doing 3 days of cardio, but I do my cardio 2 times a day usually. So nothing. The amount of days exercising does not change between the first phase and the second phase. I'm just underrepresenting in the first phase because I typically sometimes stuff happens, but in the second phase, everything I will start doing more work, and so I can't underrepresent that because it's just too much. So at that point in the second phase, everything is truly double compared to the first phase. The diet still remains the same. I don't do any type of fasting in the first phase. In the second phase, I am considering adding in 1 day of fasting, but I'm just not sure whether I want to do that or not. The third phase is where things kind of get a little bit more crazy. I am at this point, because how the third phase is set up, I am doing like 1 day of rest, and during that day of rest, I do fast, and I do like a 24-hour fast. Oh no, a 36-hour fast, 42-hour fast at that time. Now the third phase, as you can see, around that time, I should be like around 263 pounds, and so I really won't be able to burn as much calories. But essentially, how this works is instead of having like a day between the upper lower rest, I'm now going to be doing upper lower upper lower upper lower. And so basically, I'm going to hit the upper body 3 times, 3 days a week, and hit the lower body 3 days a week. And it's going to be like the same thing with the cardio. And essentially how that works is I will do like a session of cardio after every workout. And again, it's going to be some light, steady state cardio. And that's what I'm going to be doing after each workout. And so it'll be like lifting weights, cardio, come home from work, lifting weights, cardio. And I'll be doing that pretty much 6 days out of the week is what I'll be doing that. So that's why it's 12. But as you can see, the calorie count for this stuff is going to be very low because at that point I'll weigh less, so I won't be able to burn as much. And the calories is going to remain the same. I don't really think I need to reduce my calories. So yeah, that's just the overview of the changes that is going to impact what I'm doing. In terms of like the workouts, everything is pretty much staying the same. There's really no need to change this. Like I said in prior videos, phase 2 and phase 3, the amount of exercise that I'm doing for each one of these will change to some degree. I'm either going to be adding stuff or I'm going to be swapping out stuff with other exercises, just to keep the muscles, just to keep the stressor fresh on the muscle. But this is what you're just seeing for now. So I'm still sticking to these exercises. There's really no need to change them. I did go over an extended period of soreness for the legs, but I'm sure this week is going to be a lot better. And that's only because the upper body had a more time to adapt versus the lower body, because I always be skipping leg day. And I'm not the only guy, so I don't want to even hear that. So yeah, those are going to be the changes going forward. I would have loved to had completed, this weight loss with, I would have loved to have done this weight loss with, on the carnivore diet, because of the health benefits. But, it is what it is. Like, what can you do? I'm still trying to avoid the simple sugars and stuff like that. The processed grains and stuff like that. I'm still avoiding that. Again, as you saw, for stuff like my coffee, the only thing I'm consuming is honey. And that's like natural, like local honey. The only thing that's really processed that I'm consuming right now would be probably my coffee creamer. My coffee creamer would be like the most super processed thing that I'm consuming. So everything is still pretty clean. And it doesn't have all the, it doesn't have like a lot of negative stuff. So I don't know. It's like, can you consider this a paleo diet? I don't know. So yeah, those are the changes. I just wanted to, put that into perspective for people. Give the full breakdown. So if you're following along and stuff like that, if you're trying to mimic what I'm doing and stuff like that, you just got the full breakdown. I did make a video about what's in my fridge and stuff like that. So if you was wondering like the type of seasonings and stuff that I use, you'll find that in that video as well. But other than that, I mean, it really is nothing much to say. I actually need to get in this upper body workout. I had skipped the workout that I was going to do yesterday. I just ended up kind of like finishing some food prep and cleaning my apartment up. So today I'm going to do upper body, which is my favorite. I also missed a few days of the creatine. So the creatine, my body isn't loaded up on the creatine right now. So recovery might suck a little bit. So I'm actually doubling up the dosage of creatine this week so that I can fully load up on the creatine. So that's one of the things that you just wouldn't know about unless I told you. So yeah. Anyway, let me finish this up and let me get into it. And you guys stick with me, and we're going to continue to make some magic. We're going to continue to lose this weight. We're going to continue to get stronger. But most importantly, we are going to continue to stay on the path. And I'll catch you guys next time.